Hello everyone, subscribe to Australian and Belarus, really cool videos.
Hi, I'm an Australian guy living here in Belarus, and I'm also a marriage consultant. I help men to meet women who are desirable for marriage, and I help men to screen the women to work out, will this woman be appropriate for this goal in your life. This is all about putting the probabilities in your favor. You can't just have a few rules and find the perfect woman for you, right? It doesn't work that way, but you can put the probabilities in your favor and make the task much, much easier. Unfortunately, most of the guys that come here as foreigners who are or claim to be looking for a wife or girlfriend or something similar, most of these guys spend their time in city bars and online, and they're actually doing the opposite. They're actually screening for girls that are not appropriate for these things. So I'm going to hit you hard right away. This is a serious one, and this is one that you're not supposed to talk about too much in Belarus, but the reality of Belarus is that the divorce rate is over 50%, and a lot of girls have not grown up with a father, or the father they've grown up with is a little inadequate. So what does that mean for you? It means that your potential wife has never had this kind of relationship role modeled to her. She doesn't know what it looks like, right? And what I've seen here over and over again is that if a girl hasn't seen this, she tends to think of a man as, what can I get from him? How can I make my life better? How will he make my life better? She becomes very self-centric. She doesn't understand the concept of working with a man. This is really, really important. So if she hasn't seen this, the probability of it working out with you is pretty low. Now, of course, if she has seen this, it doesn't mean it's going to work with you, right? But it just increases the probability. Now, of course, in this environment where so many women were fatherless, you have to be a bit more flexible. So obviously having a dad in the home, that's the optimal situation. But it could be a grandpa, it could be Dadushka, right? It could be the grandfather, it could be an uncle who lives in the apartment next door, who she spent a lot of time with. Maybe the dad was there until she was, say, 12 or 13, in which case she might have had a really good role model connection and doesn't feel that others kind of insecurities and whatever that can happen in this kind of situation. So you need to be a bit flexible. But what I've seen is a lot of girls here who have actually never met their fathers at all. So how do you think she can possibly get together with a guy and understand how to have a meaningful relationship, how to work together in a marriage with a family? It's pretty much impossible. All right, next up, you want to monitor her social media use. How does she use Instagram? Is it a description of her life? I mean, ideally, she doesn't really touch it much, right? But you know, this is 2022 and this is how things work. So if she just shows her life kind of how it is, that's pretty good. Maybe a bit of her parents and friends on her own, just a mixture of photos. This is kind of healthy, you know, because it tells you that she's just showing how her life actually is and she's connecting with other human beings this way. The more self-absorbed the photos get, the more photos there are of her on her own, for example, to the point where every photo is like a model shoot and it's only her. It's telling you she's further and further down that narcissistic end. And this is something that you don't want to deal with, right? Long term, she will absolutely chew you up and spit you out and not care in the slightest about you. The third telltale sign that she's not appropriate for long-term relationships is that she has no long-term relationships in her life. Yeah, you want to meet a girl who's been able to maintain long-term relationships with family, see them very regularly, or with friends. Belarus in particular, it's a very odd culture. People here don't have a lot of friends compared to Western countries, and it's not unusual for girls to have no friends at all, and this is a real concern. You really want the girls who have had a lot of childhood friends, and they're still friends. They might only have one or two friends, maybe three, but they're very close to them and they've known them for a long time. That ability to navigate through the ups and downs of a friendship, you know, not just get sick of that friend after a year, doesn't suit my purpose now, find another one, but they're able to negotiate, have enough empathy, be reasonable, be able to come to an agreement on things. It shows a lot of maturity from a girl, a lot of emotional maturity, and that she's able to do the same thing in a romantic relationship with you. And the fourth point I'm going to share with you today, oh man, this is really controversial. I'm going to upset some people, but the more effort that a girl puts in to making herself look more sexually desirable, the more narcissistic she probably is, right? Now, I'm not talking about just looking good. I'm talking about really trying to hypersexualize herself. And when you look at this point, right, this holds in any culture, but you're not looking at girls who do this, because maybe the whole culture does, in which case it doesn't matter, it's not important. You're looking at what she does compared to the rest of the girls in her culture. So if she's right at the pointy end of sexualization relative to her peers, then this is a real concern. These girls tend to have severe daddy issues. They tend to be very narcissistic, very self-centered. They will see you as a tool for them to get something. The chance of them genuinely connecting and bonding with you is extremely low. But again, remember with this point, this is all about relativities. So you're looking at the girls, maybe the top 5 or 10% of sexualizing themselves. It's not about being slim, it's not about wearing nice clothes, it's about that kind of hypersexualization of her appearance. And I've just seen this so many times. This tells you a lot about what's going on inside of her mind. Now, of course, this point holds for men as well, right? Same thing, but obviously this video is pitched at men who want to meet women. So if you want to put the odds in your favor, if you're a guy who's been in this region for a while and you just keep making the same mistakes with girls, finding the same girls, and then you're blaming them, guess what? It's not the girls, it's you and your picker. Your picker is desperately out of tune. So instead of going for the hottest girls and then trying to pretend there's no other problems there or other issues there, look at the stuff I've just mentioned in this video first. Get a girl to pass those first. And then if her age and appearance, whatever, is at least decent, then that's the girl you should be going for a long-term relationship. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a nice like. It tells me that you enjoyed this content and you want more content like this. As I mentioned earlier, I am a marriage consultant here in Minsk, and I have expertise both in marriage and in the local culture. So if you want to meet and screen for an appropriate woman to marry and to have a family with, I'm here to help you. Hit me up on marriedinminsk.com.